Alright, let's have a look. Brakes are on, landing lights on, mixture's rich, fuels on both. T's and P's are good. Don't have a carb heat. Well, like I say, I didn't really see anything that made me excited, should we put it that way? Oh boy, it's loading angle seeing, I think. Oh my god, frames, please. There we go. I've not been on autopilot all day. Go kart. Bit higher than all of light, but we can float it. It's a long runway. I do like to laugh at the Air4 Labs. The Air4 Labs either greases it or it makes it sound like you just destroyed the aircraft. It's quite funny. Like, honestly, that was fine. If I did that in real life, it'd be fine. In this plane, it's like, BANG! It's hilarious. Exactly, it's like I fired a gun.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's have a look. I think... If I said the taxi to the end, wasn't it, I think? I think we had to taxi to the end, if I remember. Thank you, Nightmare. According to the airport diagram, there's a taxiway at the end, I think. Taxi lane A, if you look at this. It does sound bad, but it really isn't. Like, the real plane can take a lot more than that. It pretty much seems to have two sound bites. One sound bite, it sounds like you greased it, and the other sound bite, it just sounds like you shot a gun. It's kind of odd. Right, let's put the taxi on, take the strobe off. Would you pass your check ride with that landing? Yep. Put it this way, in night, this may surprise you, if you do night flying, the instructor will tell you to land. Like, you know, I floated it. The instructor will tell you not to do that. He'll basically say to you, fly it, in his words, fly it straight into the ground. In other words, come in at 65 and then just kill the throttle and just get it down. That's what they tell you in night flying. And the landings are a lot firmer than that. Supposed to be GA parking. I think it's this next one. Oh, your landers are like Buttercat. Because the best part about your landings, Cat, is you don't just get one landing, you get 3. You get 2 bonus ones. Oh, I think I've missed it. I thought this was it, but... oh, boy. We'll go over here. 1 firm and 2 butter, yeah. Stuart UK, thank you for 50 months. Listen, when you come over here, Cat Straighter, I'll take you flying, then you can judge my butter landings. I'll park here next to the fuel. Right, what's the fuel looking like? 13 gallons, 26 gallons in total. Okay, let's figure out where we're going. We've been doing a bit of aviation photography, and the smell of the tyres on an A330 as opposed to a 737 is noticeable. Interesting. Actually, Whiteland fuel is aviation fuel. GA fuel's blue. Alright, let's see where we're going. So, out of Carnarvon. I guess what we could do is we could take off and then we could kind of circle Anglesey. And then... should we go inland? Oh, the duty-free fuel, gotcha. Well, in order to take a top of a fuel, I think I'd have to... don't know if this will work or not, because it's a... oh, that worked. It did actually put fuel in the tank. We're using Orbix scenery for the UK. I mean, the thing about X-Plane is, like, its default airports are pretty decent. Like, this is just a default airfield. But because of the library, because of the way X-Plane works and because of its library and people just submit stuff for free and then it gets built into the product, it's kind of cool. It just has so many free airfields. Fly to the East Coast. Barton near Manchester. Barton. Manchester Barton. This one. EGCB. Wow, £2 a litre for gas? For avgas? That's insane. That's not cheap. They got quite a few runways. Blimey. Oh, get some bottom. Smash through all. This is some nasty airspace. Like, you see this corridor here? This is what they call a low-level corridor, and you can fly through that. But it's like, I think it's 1,500 feet or something ridiculous. Actually, it might be 1,300. I think you can fly under 1,300, you can fly right through that corridor. Or you need to speak to Liverpool and Manchester and actually fly at a higher altitude because it's between two major airports. It's just horrible. Right, let's see what we are. Take a trip around Anglesey. So there's like a danger area here. This is probably a power station. Restricted area. Surface to 2,100 feet. Doesn't actually say. So we'll fly around Anglesey, and then I think let's come and hug the coast because Colwyn Bay and stuff is quite nice. So we'll come along the coastline there, and then I suppose we can overfly Liverpool. Now, where I was born, where was I born? That's where I was born, right there, St Helens. That's where I was born. There's loads of wind farms in the Irish Sea. You should see the North Sea. Yeah, there you go. That'll do. 60 minutes, 100 nautical miles, it says. To do that flight in real life, you'd have to have some fun with ATC. Stuart UK, thank you for 50 months. And Gamers Raid, happy anniversary. So I haven't been around too much for about 6 months. I've been building a place for my wife, and it's only my dad and doing everything from the foundations up except electrical. Almost done though, keep up the good work. Wow, dude. Do you want to come and build me a house? Thank you, Gamers Raid. Donkey, thank you for 52, sir. I think building your own house would be pretty stressful. Would it not? And challenging, definitely challenging. I can't even make a wall. Not stressful for you, but your wife would be insane. Lol. Alright, so we'll taxi. We'll take off on 2-3, is it? 2-5? Which will have a bit of a crosswind. free VFR chart? I don't think so. You can buy one for... I don't think these are very expensive, but these are what I use. But I mean, a lot of these now are used for backup. Like, you have to carry one. If your tablet fails, you're going to need this, so you have to carry a VFR chart. But it's basically, this is in Sky Demon. So these things are massive, though. They're absolutely massive. You have to fold them up. It's like an art to folding it. The first time they give you one of those, and then they say, "There you go. Have a lot of fun folding that." The VFR charts are free. Well, I don't think they charge for the chart. They charge for the printing of it. I think that's where the money comes in. Very stressful, but only being myself, my dad saves a huge amount of money. That's true. But Gamers Rider, you already, like, trained as a builder or something. Alright, 0725. Let's figure out what we're doing here. 323 magnetic, roughly. Okay. Flaps are up, strobe is coming on, pito's coming on. Fuel is good, TZPs are good. Mixture going to rich. Let's go flying. So we want a right turn out of here and then around Anglesey. Flying to Manchester Barton. Very interesting crosswind takeoff. Tell you what, if your engine fails on takeoff coming out of here, you're in the drink. Mover perfect. Welcome back. Do you like swimming? I think you wouldn't get much choice. Your granddad was a builder by trade, so your dad and I learned. I mean, just simplistically, like building a wall, building a house, like the brick part of a house. You've got to be a good bricklayer to do that, surely. It's 1500. I think it's somewhere between 12 and 14,000 Venemin is like the service ceiling, depending on the model. The higher you go, like the less of a climb rate you can get, until it gets to a point where it just can't climb anymore. But you might have passed out by then. No, it's just due to the engine producing power. And the lift from the lighter air, you get less lift out of it. Less dense. Need to go a lot faster. Right, it's 2.5. Right, there should be EGOV Valley down there. Somewhere. Oh, climbing. Hey, Mrs. Frosty. Wow, that thing's bobbing around. Not in GA stuff, Denim. Not usually. There it is. That's got to be it. When am I going to be landing? I think it was about a 60-minute flight, approximately. So this is Anglesey. It's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was, Anglesey. I kind of thought it was relatively small, but it's actually not. Wait, what's that? Is that a racetrack? Is that a racetrack? Kind of looks like one. Anybody know what it is? Well, we didn't need to refill, Bob, but we threw a bit of fuel in anyway. Anglesey Circuit. No, the airbase is off our right. That's the airbase. Oh, was that Fifth Gear's test track? Didn't know that. But then nobody watches Fifth Gear anyway. Stu Harris, thank you for 4 months. Is this the new flying simulator? Nah. That's next year. Shots fired. Okay, you're all trimmed, mostly. Yeah, this is EGOV, military airfield. So, is this where they fly out of to go to the Mac Loop then? Wasn't Tiffany Dell on Fifth Gear? I seem to remember. I always thought that Fifth Gear was a stupid name. There's a lot of cars now of like 7, 8 gears. Yeah, I think that's Holyhead Bay over there. For that bit. I like the watercolour. It's really nice. Last stop before Ireland. What about Isle of Man? Tiff was in Fifth Gear. I thought he was. I kind of like Tiff was a great driver, but I'm not sure he was a great presenter. He was okay, but not brilliant. Like, he was good at taking the car and just blasting it around the track and that kind of thing. But in terms of, like, reviewing the car, I don't think he was that great. Here's GoPros, Foxy Cubs. If from the west of Philly, you've never seen such a boring stream. I mean, there's Philly, there's always something to rob, so you're out. See you later, Tomo. Enjoy the rest of Twitch, mate. Thanks for your input. There's somebody that doesn't like flight simming. Is that the road or? So you've actually got a land connection, and they built a man-made bridge by the look of it. Found the track on Google Earth. It is indeed a real circuit. Yeah, original name, right? Anglesey Circuit. Hero 4. No, dog's been sat with me all this time. I've never known a dog sleep so much. Is Flight Sim easy to get into? Do you have to spend weeks learning the controls? I mean, to be honest, Gondor, you can learn very quickly how to take off. It's trickier landing, obviously, but it won't take weeks. Huh? Kinda... Do I want food? I do want food, but it depends what it is. Pizza. I can't eat pizza yet. It's gonna have to be in about 45 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you could take off within a matter of an hour, and then just enjoy yourself. Just kind of get used to it, you know. Just fly around a bit, have fun. That's what it's about initially. Is just taking off and just enjoying flying. But you know, at some point, you're going to have to learn a few things. But you'll be fine. FS11? What's FS11? Really, Hannah? I thought cats slept less than dogs for some reason. I don't think anybody's making Flight Sim 11. Flight Sim, the Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, I don't know how much of Flight Sim 10 that brings with it in order to call it 11. I don't think Microsoft's branding it as 11 anyway. Right, let's have a look. 103 magnetic. They're just calling it Flight Simulator. Well, Microsoft Flight Simulator, I assume. Cats sleep loads. So, if you had a choice, would you come back as a cat or a dog? You'd come back as a cat, Bigfoot. Interesting. A dog every time. Cats don't get more attention normally anyway. Oh, I don't think that's true. It largely depends on the owners. Like, people who buy pets normally just look after them. Most people look after them and spend a lot of time with them. Doesn't matter if it's a dog or a cat or a guinea pig. They spend lots of time. They're definitely more independent, Slane. But equally, like, I don't know. I don't know if cats are like that. It's hard to say if a cat is a companion or not. I think a dog is a companion. I'm not sure if a cat is. Some are, I guess. I mean, you don't walk a cat. You can walk a dog, right? So you can go places and take the dog with you and walk it. Whereas a cat, you wouldn't really do that. They don't teach... There's no such thing as a guide cat. Because a cat can't be trained like a dog can. So a dog can be a companion and can be like a guide dog and things like this. You saw someone walk a cat. I've never seen anybody walk a cat. Unless they were taking it to the vet, maybe, but... So I used to come round here, like, on holiday and stuff. People walk cats in Australia. Really? That's interesting. Right, let's have a look where we are. So we've just gone around Anglesey. We'll cut across the water now. Your dog loves the vet. Most dogs I've ever owned absolutely hate the vet. Like, once they've been there once or twice, they associate that place with not good things happening. So whenever they go, they just start, like, you know, dog just starts shaking. They really don't want to go to the vet. Like, you know, they're going to get the temperature tested, which is never enjoyable. Right, bye-bye Anglesey. So we're going down to Colwyn Bay, and then you'll see Rill and Prestatyn on your left after that. Used to be popular places to go. Used to be. No, I wouldn't, Bob. I would not. Your dog has no feelings about that. It's funny how, like, they're different. Did you see that the G650 Gulfstream circumnavigates the poles in 46 hours, making a new speed record? I didn't see that. That's an Aliens quote. Slain. Is that a wind farm on the ocean though? Probably. They're pretty popular. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. Gulfstream jets are awesome to fly. They're nice. Free G450 on the modding community set. Hey Kenny. We're just doing a bit of a water hop over. This is Colwyn Bay on the right. So we're just like hopping over there. Yeah, so there's a wind farm over there, if that's what you were talking about. Offshore wind farms are pretty popular. If you fly east out of where I fly out of, you get to the North Sea, you'll just see massive wind farms, like absolutely huge. Do you prefer IRL flying or simulator flying? Which one do you think is better? I don't prefer either of them. They're both enjoyable in their own way. Let me put it this way, flying in a sim is a lot cheaper than flying in real life. So when you get the bill at the end of a real flight, you don't get that bill at the end of a sim, and that's nice. Also, if I'm flying a plane for real, I need a bathroom break. Yeah, good luck with that. Hey, Tequila. You can practice stuff in a sim that you can then take into the real world, and that's kind of cool. Fish and Chips Friday. Nice. No, I've got some problems with my honeycomb yolk, which I'm going to have to iron out with them. Thank you, Kenny. Right in front of us should be Great Orm's Head, it says. Blimey. No bullets go. What kind of problem with the honeycomb? The buttons on the actual handle, all the buttons are not responding. So there must be a problem somewhere. After my instrument stuff, Bankley, I'm going to stop with the training and just go enjoy it and make videos. I'm going to do that for a while. I'm just going to build up experience then. I'm going to fly to different places and just get the experience and enjoy it. Like, that's where I want to stop, at least for now, and then decide what I want to do later. Like, I can't see me wanting to fly twin engine just because it's like almost twice as expensive per hour to fly. What's the point? How many hours is IFR? Well, if you're doing the restricted rating, it's about 15. If you're doing the full rating, it's about 45. And there's exams in both. So, I mean, you can imagine 45 hours of training at whatever hourly rate you're paying. Say you're paying, I don't know, £160 an hour, 45 times that. It's a lot of money. TK Trucker, thank you for 16 months. Kenny, I've streamed it quite a few times. I know there's a new map on Call of the Wild, some winter map, is it? Can't see those wind farms. There you go, Colwyn Bay. Just turn right a little so we can see it. You think that's how it works, Shadowred? Huh. What an interesting view you have. You got your instrument, then your tail wheel, then you was done. Fair enough. Is that what you fly tail wheel now then? Colwyn Bay. I remember it being a lot bigger than that. That's weird. But that's Landudno. 1 second. You're right, that's Landudno. Colwyn Bay. I thought it didn't look like that. I was like, eh? Well, it's a bay. It's got to be right. That's Landudno. It's been a long time. Oh, it was a train. It's been a long time since I've been there. He was there in May. What's it like now? You do if it's a grass field. What, fly tail? It's never changed. It's stuck in time. There's Colwyn Bay. Oh, it's a bit bigger. How can it look the same as 30 years ago? It's just so bizarre. What are you waiting for, Beaker? It looks like it's got a small pier. Right, let's come back in slightly and work out next heading 076. So from here, we want to enter, head on a roughly 076 heading. That will take us, I think, is that going to go to Liverpool? Yeah, that's going to take us straight to Liverpool. Jeff was in my video, Ben, if that's what you mean. Figured out the VOR on this model. Yeah, we did some VOR stuff before. Look at the caravans. Oh my god, look at the caravans. Been down this road quite a few times. Yeah, Tommy, yeah. It's pretty much as it is in real life. Even down to the train line. It's accurate enough that you could look at a map and fly it in the sim. Well, Shadowrun, that is what the new flight simulator purports to do, is stream it. Personally, I think it's going to require a pretty fast bandwidth. Lampen Bauger, thank you for 19 months. Here's my password you were asking for. I love Squirrel Media. What? What password was I asking for? Thank you for 19 months, sir. I don't use eye tracking. It doesn't work for me. Whoa. Please tell me that's not a caravan park of doom. Yeah, eye tracking's no good for me because I'm looking around constantly at chat and that kind of thing. What are we going to drop on them, Beaker? I wonder how much caravan owners love Jeremy Clarkson. That is Rill. Oh, Rill. Oh my god. I used to go to Rill when I was a kid. I think Rill used to be quite decent, but not these days. We'll have to see, Tommy Gun. Allegedly it'll have all this, but we'll have to see. Rill has definitely seen better days. The problem is like, I don't know how does it get into that state? People stop going because they say it's a dump, but it becomes a dump because people stop going because then they can't afford to clean it up and that kind of thing. So it's like a vicious circle. I'm using Yoko the Yoke from Virtual Fly and Virtual Fly TQ6. Liverpool control airspace 5.4 nautical. You see? This is one of the things Skydemon's really good at, is stopping you from breaking into airspace. You know, inadvertently flying through airspace. Because you can lose your license doing that. You went to Rill when you was a kid. Yeah, I've not been for years.
Control airspace 4.5 miles ahead.
So right now, you'd have to be speaking to ATC to do this. Yeah, the buildings are 3D. They're auto-generated by X-Plane. But they are actually 3D structures. It's not 2D. It's built up in layers, basically. Right, so now we're going to cross over. Just the river. What river is this? You'll have Birkenhead on our left and Ellesmere Port on our right. Show you where we are on the map. It's easier if I just show you, I think. It's loading Liverpool. No thanks, Kenny. I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, the River D, that's it. You're in Ellesmere Port. Well, we can always drop something on you, Heyman, if you want. And over to the right and you'll see where I am right now, Heyman. Well, over here. Kenny, I won't be playing with you, sir. It's 4 AM, Ben. Alright, have a good one.
Control airspace 5.5 miles ahead.
Call Liverpool approach on 119.855. Nope. So this is the River D. Light aircraft just gone over your house. That was me, Zarek. Sim Lubix, how you doing? Let's have a look. So that should be Birkenhead over there. Ellesmere Port should be over here. According to this diagram. Close to Parkgate, lovely for ice cream. Is it special training to land on grass, or grass landing is not much different from asphalt concrete? Grass landings are easier. Break spear. Grass landings are like, at Earl's Cone we land on the grass and take off. We generally take off from the concrete, land on the grass in summer. In winter we land on the concrete, asphalt as well. We don't use the grass in winter. Like if it's bogged down or whatever, you can't use it. But it's a bit more forgiving on the landing gear when you land on it. But there's not really that much difference. Slow you down a little bit, but yeah. So let's see. That should be Ellesmere Port over there. All that bit. And that should be Birkenhead over here. That is, of course, Liverpool on the other side. I've not done this IRL now. And Liverpool John Lennon should be over here. So we're pointing straight at it, right there. Currently fly out of Earl's Cone. We'll be flying out of North Wales soon. Never really been a Beatles fan, Jack M, to be honest. Right, when we get there, we're going to be looking at 050. You can't beat the Backstreet Boys. You and a friend are going to fly an X-plane from Southend to Liverpool, refuel from the back, do a circle back to Southend. It's quite a long trip. So look at that, we're about to fly over Liverpool and it's complaining about Manchester. Caught Manchester radar. Didn't use Author 4XP for this, Jürgen, because this is Orbex scenery. Newty, thank you for 47 months. 1 till 4 years. Can't believe how time flies. Don't think we're going to pass Huddersfield, Newty. Not today, anyway. There you go. Bill John Lennon. That's where I very, very first ever flew a GA plane. When you fly in real life, do you get nervous when you land on bigger airports? I think there's always a bit more pressure, yeah. There's always a bit more pressure because there's a lot going on at a big airport. There's like... I mean, I never forget approaching on the approach into Southend. and there was like a Dash 8 just lined up, and he had to sit there, holding, waiting for me to land. And you sort of, like, you're coming in like in your little plane, and you look at this guy just sat there, waiting for you, and you just like, you touch down, and then the controller goes, could you just expedite off taxiway Charlie, please? Which I did. And then he thanked me for it. The tower controller thanked me for not messing around, basically get off the runway. I've got people lined up here, which I did. But even so, you're still a bit, you come in. Probably the pilots at the front of that plane are watching you coming in going, let's see how he does when he touches down. Tom24, will we see a return of the licensed pilot showing off his inverted flying skills? Lol. Right, that's right overhead of John Lennon. Pretty much heading to Warrington now. Warrington's over here. I do servo, but this has got way better equipment than the plane I fly. Like, way better. Yeah, 600-meter runways. I might have to overfly this just to get a feel for it, and then maybe go on 2.6. You look at it. If I overfly it and take 2.6 maybe. We'll have to see. I've got a feeling some of them are going to be like tarmac and some are going to be grass. There's a lot of notes here that I'm not going to read through right now. Hey Yod. Did you do hypoxia training? You don't do... You have to learn about hypoxia and the effects of it and do an exam on it, but you don't, like, ever practice it, no. So this is basically Warrington below us. Well, it might be Widnes actually. No, it's Widnes. Widnes and Warrington are like right next to each other. Blimey. Look at that. The detail is real. Widnes has got like chemical plants like ICI and stuff in it. Every time I've been to Widnes, it just smells of like chemicals. I don't like it. This is Warrington. How old is the plane I fly? I think it's probably a 70s plane. Most of them are. Most planes that you'll ever fly at a school are going to be pretty old, like in the 70s and stuff. Ashwin Chip, thank you for 7. That is the M62 right there. So notice on a VFR chart, you can see it like the blue line, the M62, because like you can VFR a motorway. It's very obvious a motorway. You don't use things like A roads and stuff, but a motorway's fine, rivers are fine, lakes are fine. Obviously towns, train stations, there's always train lines. What's really good is like a combination of them. Like where you see a train line next to a motorway with a lake next to it, that is perfect because it's very hard to get that wrong. They're very easy to spot.
Control airspace 5 miles ahead.
WTF, 35 months, have a safe flight. Are you going to review your controller? I was always wanting to get one, but after seeing the quality of the Cytec, I have made me hesitate. I've already covered the Yoko before. I think maybe you're thinking of the Honeycomb, which I haven't reviewed yet. I need to get it working properly first. Yod, thank you for gifting us up to Callum. Welcome, Callum Holden. Thank you very much, Yod.
5 miles ahead.
So this is the M62 and this is the M6. And given this is Warrington, we should be able to see the bridge somewhere here, maybe. Not sure exactly where the bridge is. It's around here. Should be. Yeah, the Thowall Viaduct, but I can't see it. Been up and down here many times. Right, 7.7 nautical away, so we'll start descending. We're landing at Manchester Barton, that's the plan. But I've never landed there before, so we'll have to have a look at it. Maybe the bridge is further south.
I'm gliding 1,200 feet below.
I don't know where it is. Okay, Mr. Rich.
I'm gliding 900 feet below.
Lovely airfield, a nice cafe. I need to go there one day. First thing we need to do is get visual. I've got a feeling that's it though. Or maybe not. No, that's not it. Do indeed, Callum. Just flown over your office. Nah, there's no TCAS on our GA. Okay, I've not
Control
visual on it yet, unless that's a golf course. feel like we're almost on top
yeah.
of it. We're like 3 nautical away and I don't have a visual. Is it just hidden between a load of things? Is that it? Oh, that's it. Wowzers, what is going on with that? Okay. Tuscaparati, thank you for the tips there. Money. Thank you. Yeah, it kind of looked like a golf course. That's the weird thing.
Hang gliding 800 feet below.
Just keep my eyes on it. This thing's easy to lose. I suppose a good frame of reference is this motorway. Right, let's get leveled out, get some speed off. Man-made, thank you. Welcome back.
Restrict area 4 miles away. Restricted area 3.5 miles away. Control airspace.
Jeez, this thing's
3.5 miles
freaking
away.
out. You say you can't see where you're going now in the Cessna. That's what I was talking about. One of the downsides is the visibility is restricted. We go left or right, doesn't it matter? Whoa, sudden drop. Interesting approach over all these houses and stuff. Well, the stall warning does actually work. Interesting. I had to bring up the plane. Should be a taxiway left off of here. Is this it? Welcome to Barton. Just like a whole bunch of grass runways. It's weird. X-plane's getting bogged down in grass. Okay, I need to figure out where we're going here. markings are really not great. It doesn't really look like the diagram too much. The diagram sort of has you going off that way, but I think we'll just double back this way. Park on the right. Presume it park over there somewhere. Like, what are the taxiway signs? There's some GA planes here, we're gonna go there. Okay, that's unrealistic. That thing spun around like crazy.
Happy anniversary. Nutter.
Right, I'll do. Alrighty, nice. Turn the tax light off. That was an instant approach.
The engine seems ideally primed.
Does it really? Hey, Doc Savage. Tootsie, thank you for 28 months. Let's try and find where we're up to.
Control airspace same level. Control
Okay.
airspace 4,000 feet above.
Okay. Let's get that to shut up. Right. Quite look at that approach. Yeah, so you've got the, is it the M62, I think, coming into here. Manchester's over there. As you make this turn, like, Skydemon was going crazy round here. I love how traffic doesn't work in replay. Hey, D22. But yeah, when you're on fire, you've got all these trees and buildings. Wait, that one's moving? So is that one, but they're not. It's bizarre. Look, some of these are stuck and some are moving. Yeah, so I'm putting flaps down now. I want to get the flaps on the downwind leg. just in case, so we just like kill our speed a little bit. But this is the problem with the Cessna, like when you're making a turn you can't see the airfield anymore because the wing is in the way. You terraform Mars to a T, Doc Savage. Lol. You get a nice approach over this motorway though. That's pretty cool. Not really. This PC I'm on is like 4 years old. It's an Intel 4790. So it's like 3 or 4 techs behind. And a 1080 card. So yeah, you're watching this on a fairly old sim rig, about 4 years old. Because this runway is not very long, it's like 600 and some meters, which is pretty short, so I thought I'd get it down fairly early. Because you don't want to float this. If you float this, you could be in for an issue. I don't think I'm on max settings, no. But I prefer frame rate over graphical fidelity. Let's have a look. There you go. So I'm not on ultra. I'm not on ultra. I'm not on ultra. Like, they're the settings I'm running. If you had a faster PC, you could probably crank that up more, but I like keeping decent frames.
The engine.
The engine seems ideally primed. Right. Let's get that out of the way. I am going to change game. It's enough flying for one day.